The following may contain language that is not suitable for all audiences. It's getting to be about that time. Woo! You have way too much flair when you do that.
Yes, so much flair.
So here's a topic that's probably an ongoing topic that people seem to talk about all the time, really.
What's that?
The idea, well, I just had this question, why is it so hard to get through to people? But the answer could be everything that we've ever talked about.
The repeat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think just because people are so set in their ways that they see things.
Well, that could be, but I think part of the reason is that you can't. It is hard for one person, the convincor, to speak the convincee's language.
Okay.
Well, think about it. All these people, myself included, that are, I don't want to say anti-communist, but just not pro-communist society or socialist society. The things that I talk about just don't really get through to a person that believes. Oh, well, that'd be the thing. Like an atheist talking to a staunch religious person, whether they be, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, what have you. Mm-hmm. Right?
Wiccan.
Okay. Although I don't.
Sorry.
Well, no, I mean, when you say Wiccan, I just don't.
I don't know anything about Wiccans. I just that was just like an aside. I just.
It is, but it made me
apparently
think about
Wiccans are making a comeback.
Right, but the whole point is, it's not that I doubt the sincerity of that belief. It's just I don't. The believers don't come off as sincere to me.
The Wiccans?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the only time I've ever come into contact with anything like that was in a stone circle in England, and it was like a druid and like 3 women who I assume were witches, and it was very odd.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm explaining it well enough, but that's the best I can do. A lot of times when someone professes a belief to me, it's not that I doubt their sincerity. It's just that their sincerity, they don't touch me with their sincerity.
Okay. Meaning they're not sincere, or just don't touch you?
No, it just means that I don't believe that they're sincere.
Okay.
Right? So it's not I haven't even got to the part where you don't believe that. It's for some reason I don't feel that you even believe that.
Right, it just kind of hits you the wrong way.
It does. Yeah. In certain respects, for certain things. So to go back to my atheist-theist example, when an atheist is trying to sit there and say, well, convince me that God exists or whatever, right? I'm just like, you guys aren't talking in the same language. So because the thing that people do that talk about the horrible stuff of communist regimes, right? They just go through history.
Yeah, talk about a lot of examples.
And they say this, and this, and someone who says or professes a belief or wants to believe that or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. They're just like, I don't care. So at that point, I'm just sitting there going, maybe you're not speaking the same language. Because the people that I have no idea why there are people that are like, I'm a Marxist, think that that's a good idea.
I don't get it either.
And the people that proclaim their Marxism, to me, really just seem like activists that want to get power, that want to get a seat at the table of the current system.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders keeps on talking about how he's a socialist, and I'm sitting there going, okay, what does that mean? And to attack Bernie Sanders,
redistribution of wealth,
and to attack Bernie Sanders for making money off his book, for being a millionaire, for having like 6 homes or however many homes he has, and saying, "Ha, you're a socialist." I'm like, that doesn't cut it.
Yeah.
Right? And even Bernie Sanders can't defend it. He's like, I wrote a book. I should be, I wrote a book. It did well. Why shouldn't I get the fruit of my labor? I'm just like, but that's like exactly what that philosophy is against.
Yeah, you're not supposed. Well, if you make that money, you're supposed to. Well, you're not supposed to make the money.
No, there's no personal property.
But you could make the money and give it to all your people.
No, you're not. No, that you're not even supposed to have that.
Oh.
Which runs counter to everything, to hundreds of thousands of years, depending on who you talk to.
I wonder, if you took a bunch of kids and you're like, okay, this is Marxism. You don't have your phone. You don't have your car. You don't have your house. You don't have any of these things that you enjoy.
But that's not
that make your life enjoyable.
That's not what Marxism is sold as. Marxism is sold as, look, everybody can work to better themselves. There's people help other people. You want to help other people, right?
Yes, of course.
Well, I'm not asking you. That was a rhetorical question.
No, but I'm thinking if somebody asked me that
right,
question,
exactly.
The answer would be yes.
Right. It's not sold as, okay, this is how we're going to help. This is how we're going to make you help other people. I read an interesting article the other day about abortion and how the proponents of that, if they're not conflicted about it, they got to be either super stupid. They have to be obstinate. They have to be willfully stupid, because you can't divorce the two things. Like the people that are pro-abortion believe also that they are compassionate and want to protect the weak and helpless. And the writer was like, what is more weak and helpless than a baby developing in the womb?
Well, that always bends my mind. That
and that's why people have to do all these mental gymnastics. That's not a baby.
It's a fetus,
right? So if it's not a baby, what is it? An aardvark?
That's not. I don't know why I'm laughing.
Well, it's because it's funny.
I'm just like, oh my gosh.
No, you're laughing because it's funny. And there are lots of people that are super conflicted about that might not say to someone they're having an argument with.
No, they wouldn't, because it's so emotionally charged an issue.
It's actually very much like the way slavery was back in the 1800s. The people in the South were really, what was it? Thomas Jefferson basically said that the South's relationship to slavery is like holding a wolf by both of its ears, and you can't let go because you're too scared to. Right?
That was the analogy he used?
That's what he said. The institution of slavery is like us holding a wolf by its ears.
Oh, wow.
You let go, what's it going to do? Dude, the people...
freaking rip your face off.
The people in the South were so... The reason why in the South the blacks couldn't be educated, couldn't have guns, couldn't have anything, was because they outnumbered the whites. I think there was twice as many blacks as there were whites. That was why the whole Three-Fifths Compromise was in the Constitution.
Yeah.
It wasn't that they thought that blacks were just nothing. The people in the South were like, we don't have enough people, so we want to include the black people in the census for congressional for congressional seats and apportionment.
Right. And
the people in the North were like, no, you can't have those people count to the number of people you have because they don't have any rights.
Yeah.
And that's how the whole Three-Fifths Compromise came about. Now, that is used as some kind of argumentative device, purposely incorrectly, and that kind of gets my goat. But we'll gloss over that, because now I've lost my train of thought. But yeah, also the abortion and slavery thing. The people in the South, there were people in the South that were like, we need to get rid of this, and they were going to. But what happens once? It's a weird human thing, right? I might decide, yeah, this is something that I don't want to do and I should stop. Mm-hmm. But the minute someone comes up to me and says, you should stop doing that,
then it's like, fuck you.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what it's like. So basically, this country fought a war for 5 years that killed millions of people
over fuck you.
Yeah.
People are fucked up.
And we're trying to do it again. Except this time, I don't think that there's going to be a war that people see on TV where there's all kinds of fighting and all that. I mean, there's a civil war going on. And it's going to be one of those weird civil wars where after it's finished, it's like, that was weird. But you're right. There are people fighting over that exact statement. Over fuck you. How stupid is that?
That's pretty stupid.
Yeah, and there are people out there that want to talk about how every child's a genius and people are great and resilient. I'm just like, we're willing. There were people willing to go to war over fuck you. There are people going to war now. And this is
and there were people who were sitting there saying, I don't think this is a good idea and I think you need to calm down, but the fuck you crowd won.
Well, no, it wasn't like that. They didn't hear it like, I don't think this is a good idea. You need to come, maybe we should rethink that. It might be said that way, but the way it's heard is, listen, fucktard, you need to stop doing this bullshit because you're just gargantuanly stupid.
No, I mean there were probably moderate voices in the South who were saying to the fuck you crowd, I think this is a good idea. To their pals. Like, we don't want to have a war with the North over this issue. And then they probably got shouted down, right?
Well, I think that you're kind of right and you're kind of wrong.
I'm putting the fuck you and the moderates, like,
the
Southerners.
The Southerners that had that thought.
Like, this is a bad idea.
Right. They were in the fuck you crowd.
They were?
Yeah. So, really, it was a matter of pride. They were sitting there going, oh, well, we need to change this. We need to figure out a way to get over this.
They were moderates.
No, they weren't moderates. They were the ones holding the slaves were thinking that too.
Right.
The people in the government, the people,
Everybody knew.
Yes. And then some preachy little bastard comes up and says, "This is fucking wrong. You're a cunt."
Hey, I saw a perfect example of this on Twitter this week. It was I think it was in Canada. So it was like a Canadian highway patrol guy. I don't know what you call the Canadian equivalent of the highway patrol.
The mounted police.
Well, anyway, it was a cop, right? I think it was in Canada, and he pulled over this couple, and they're both wearing their masks, right?
Okay.
And the guy who was the driver wasn't saying much. Mm-hmm. And the cop was like, "You were speeding, da 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 da," and he's like, "But I'm going to let you off with a warning."
Okay.
He wasn't wearing a mask.
Okay.
And then the fucking passenger, who was this woman, starts going off on the cop. And she's like, "You should be wearing a mask." Da, 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 da. And he's like,
"Well,
all right then. Well then." And she's like, "No, you can't do that." Da, da, da. And the driver is just sitting there just saying nothing.
Well, I think we should end with two of my favorite jokes on that.
Okay.
The first one, a guy pulls over a lawyer. A cop pulls over a lawyer and said, "You ran that stop sign back there." And the lawyer's like, "But I slowed down. I mean, what's the fucking difference, man? There was nobody around, blah, blah." He's being a typical cunty lawyer.
Right.
And he's like, "You know what?" The driver's like, "You know what? If you can give me an illustration of what the difference is between stopping and slowing down, then, you can give him the ticket." So at that point, the cop gets a little pissed off and he pulls out his baton and starts beating the guy. Just hitting him. And he says, "Okay, you want me to stop or slow down?"
Wow, that's a great joke.
And and another one, my other cop joke that I really like is this guy was speeding, right? And a highway patrolman pulls him over, or in the state that I was in, it's called the state trooper. Mm-hmm. Guy comes up to the driver and he's like, "Look, it's frickin' 4:55 on Friday, the 13th even, and my shift is over in 5 minutes, and it's going to take me at least 15 to give you a ticket. Mm-hmm. So if you can give me a good enough reason why you didn't stop, and number one, why you were speeding, and number two, why you didn't stop 4 miles while my lights and sirens were on, I'll let you off." So the driver sat there and thought about it, and he was like, well, a couple of weeks ago, my wife ran off with a state trooper. And I thought you were him, bringing her back to me. And so at that point, the state trooper goes, have a nice day.